People like to say appearance doesn't matter, but it does matter. I have a soft spot in my heart for addiction. I have a soft spot for people that are marginalized. We need to help them, not hinder them. Digital smile design is a process of taking records from someone, x-rays, photos, videos, and customizing their treatment based upon those photos and the records. What patients want is to see what they're gonna look like. They're coming to you because they have some major problems and they don't like their smile, but they can't identify it. The best way to show them that is to do this digital preview. And I work with a planning center in Spain. What they do is they'll do the design, they send that back to me, and then I put that mock-up or design in their mouth, let them test drive it and see it, and it's transformational.
My childhood was in California. My mom was a single mom, my dad was in prison. My mom's work relocated from Southern California to Colorado Springs. I was excited at first, but when I got here, it became relatively apparent I just didn't fit in. Things just started to escalate at school. I didn't want to be there, I was fighting all the time. So I started drifting to a crowd of kids that were skipping school, doing drugs, trying marijuana, drinking, sneaking out at night. And then when I was 14, I started doing methamphetamines. And being addicted to drugs, I started stealing to support that drug habit. I would go out at night and I would break into garages, cars, whatever I could to get money to buy drugs. I was found guilty of 33 felonies and 4 misdemeanors. I was sentenced to 60 years in the Department of Corrections. After sentencing, and the life of being incarcerated was tricky. I was a nonviolent offender, but since I had essentially a life sentence, they sent me to a maximum security prison where 80% of the people there were doing life for murder. Coming down off the drugs, and then during my county jail time, I got really depressed, and I turned from a meth addiction to a food addiction. And before my trial, I found myself 400 pounds. I just knew that was I'm ruining my life now, not with meth anymore, but now with food. And I came to the conclusion that all this has to end. And I met a guy named Damien Arguello, who undoubtedly changed the course of my life forever. We invited 30 people from the CrossFit community in Colorado to come compete side by side with us at Lyman Correctional Facility. We called it the Redemption Road Invitational. And I got randomly paired up with a lady named Violetta Chapin. When I met Violetta, we hit it off immediately. We just became really close over that 5-hour stretch. About halfway through the day, it became apparent that we were on track to win, and we ended up winning the last event and winning the total overall for the day, which was the very first thing I had won in my entire life. A month after that, it was right after the holidays, maybe when school got back in, she called up and talked to my case manager, who came and got me out of my housing unit. And so I got on the phone, and it was Violetta. She's like, "Hey, I'm just a professor of law at CU Boulder, and I just have it on my heart to try to get you out of prison." And I just started crying. I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm an immigration lawyer, and I've never done a clemency petition before, but if you are willing to have myself and my students work on your case, we would love to take it up. I walked out of that office that day knowing I was going home.
I met Nick because he took over and managed my neighborhood CrossFit gym. I really got to know Nick from his coaching, and his story resonated with me. The fact that people can change and you can change your life. So when I met him and I saw his teeth, I'm like, I know I can help him. I specifically remember him telling me his story, and I would have never known that he was pardoned from a life sentence. And he went into pretty great detail about his remorse and how his actions affected others, and he was really sorry that that all happened and how he wanted to make a difference. And so I wanted to provide the same thing for him. I donate all my services to Nick because he donates all of his services to others.
Over the years, I've worked on a lot of my life. I've changed my addiction habits. I lost 220 pounds. I worked on my fitness. I worked on my career. I worked on everything I possibly could. And the one aspect that I can't change is my teeth. Your smile says a lot about you. Only 7% of our communication is verbal. The rest is our body language, our smile, our demeanor, and our affliction. And all those things come from like your mouth, your smile.
Years of neglect add up, and especially drug use. You know, if you're doing meth, there's a lot of chemicals in the vapor, and they can destroy your teeth. And then, of course, there's the just generalized neglect.
I love to laugh and smile, but like right now, I feel like it just screams like years of abuse. I brush twice a day, I floss every day, and I feel like it just screams that I don't take care of my teeth. You know, there's something different going on, like drugs or smoking cigarettes or something.
There's so much more to that. When you have an unhealthy mouth and unhealthy gums, it changes your overall health. Mouth bacteria is causing Alzheimer's, heart disease, heart attacks, strokes. So when we rebuild Nick's mouth, we need to make sure we're putting the teeth in the right places. We're balancing the pH in his mouth. We're treating his gums. And when we treat all of that, we're gonna set him up for success for health, and also success for his dental work to last. I'm so excited to present this to you.
I am so excited as well.
You want to know something? Ever since I've met you, I've had this plan in my head on what I could do with your smile.
I'm super glad because I've wanted my smile fixed ever since I met you. Well, long before that as well.
So Nick, this is you today.
Yeah.
And this is your new smile.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God. That's gonna be so amazing. I can't even tell you, this is incredible. No. It's gonna change my life forever.